Another political component of this story, President Trump taking on General Motors in its relationship with China on Friday, teasing the automaker for not being as strong as it once was and accusing GM of having moved plants to China. Now, the tweet getting a lot of buzz because, in fact, GM has never moved a factory from America to China. Right now, I want to bring in a lawmaker who has a unique perspective on trade, the auto industry, and the American worker. Michigan Senator Gary Peters is here. He's the ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee and also serves as the Commerce and Joint Economic Committees. Good morning to you, Senator. What did you make of that tweet, and what do you think the American public should think?
The president continues to put out these kinds of tweets, and instead of really having a coordinated manufacturing policy, my focus is how do we make sure that we can make things in America, that we have a strong and vibrant manufacturing sector. We're not seeing that kind of help from the administration. We need to be focused on some of the areas that the government can be really helpful in the industry. One thing that I see here in Michigan as I travel all across the state, folks are looking for skilled workers that can be working in our plants. That's something that we need to be focused on. We can't be in a situation right now where we have tariffs by tweets, so we have disruptions, we have folks who don't really have any certainty as to what the future is going to hold. It's creating a very difficult business environment here in Michigan.
Senator, political question, and I don't know if you had an opportunity to hear the conversation we were having at the table just moments ago, which is the idea that the Trump administration has really determined that this battle with China is as much a national security battle now as it is an economic one. Do you believe that?
Well, certainly we do have to be concerned about the Chinese. They are a competitor, and we need to hold them accountable. And if we enter into trade agreements with China, we have to make sure that the rules are actually followed. But we also have to understand that when you have robust economy, that is national security. Having a strong U.S. economy is directly tied to our own national security as well. And that's why we need to have forward-thinking economic policies that understand the complexity of the world. If you're looking at tariffs, that's certainly a tool that you use when you are putting together a comprehensive international strategy. Right now, the president seems to think tariffs are a strategy by itself. That's never been the case, and it's not going to be that case going in the future.
What are you hearing from your constituents when it comes to these tariffs?
Well, I think people are going to start feeling more of them. In fact, if you look at some of the economic studies that have come out, now with these new tariffs going into place, it's going to start hitting consumers. It could be as much as $1,000 per household. And I'll tell you, $1,000 per household is a pretty big hit. And that's going to ripple through all sorts of industries here in the country.
Senator, specifically when it comes to the auto industry, last week China announced that it would be increasing tariffs on U.S. autos by 25% to 40%. How should we think about that? I mean, most cars are built on the ground there and so may not face the brunt of this tax. At the same time, what sort of impact are you anticipating in your district?
Yeah, right now, I mean, certainly with General Motors, most of the automobiles that they produce there are ones that they sell in China. So that's not going to have that impact, although Ford Motor also sells cars from the United States. They export to China as well, so it's going to have some impact. But I think it's the overall impact throughout the entire supply chain that we're worried about, and the kind of disruption and uncertainty that this creates really doesn't make for a very healthy economic environment. And I think you're starting to see some of that slowdown in the manufacturing sector broadly in this country right now. That may be a leading indicator of what's going to happen going forward.
Do you wish GM, the cars that it's building in China, they make Buicks, Cadillacs, I think they have 4 plants or so. Do you wish that those were still made, and do you wish they'd move them back and do the production in your state?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We would want those cars made here in the United States and then exported to China. That should be the goal. There's excess capacity with manufacturing sites here in the United States now. We'd love to be able to do that. But I think we're going to need to have a comprehensive manufacturing strategy coming out of this administration and a policy in order to make that a reality.
That GM never moved a plant there. Maybe they didn't specifically move one that was in production here or there, but they definitely are. They build plants and automobiles in China.
They did, yeah. They built those plants in China for the Chinese market.
That's their big market.
Some cars are coming back.
Yeah, that's their big market. I mean, I understand it, but GM's got a lot of problems. Why, if they sold more cars here, maybe it wouldn't be such an important market for them, and they got to give people the cars they want. Once again, we're back to that, 10 years after the bailout.
Right, right. And we want to have more of those cars. We want to try to bring back more of the production from Mexico as well to the United States. I think most of us are very disappointed that the new Chevy Blazer is being built in Mexico. We'd love to have that in the United States. We need to have that continued focus of filling plant capacity with cars that are being built here in America.
Hey, Senator, before I let you go, we were having another debate last hour about Tesla and EVs. And specifically, there's an op-ed in today's Wall Street Journal talking about the subsidies that have been made available for EVs that roll off or at least get halved after the first 200,000 cars are sold. That has now rolled off for GM in your state. It's rolled off for Tesla. But the industry is back asking for those to be continued to now for the next 400,000 cars. Would you be in support of that?
I am supportive of that. We want to continue to ramp up production of electric vehicles and to bring them to scale. We have legislation to do that. The EVs will become more economical and will be able to be sold to a broader cross-section of America.
What do you make of the argument this is going on? These subsidies have gone on for 30 years now.
Well, you're seeing EV production now catching up from a technological standpoint with the internal combustion engine. When we move to self-driving vehicles, AVs, those are all going to be EVs as well. They're going to be electric powered. But you need to be able to scale up and mass produce these cars. That takes a substantial investment. Right now, these cars are more expensive. You can't get to scale. But when you get to scale, the market forces kick in and you become very competitive and have a much more competitive product. But you have to get to scale. And getting to scale is often difficult with a new technology.
Okay, fair enough. It is a longer debate, Senator. We always love having you. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Great to be with you.
Appreciate it.